So, there's been loads of weirdness on my plot. Dead. They're sunflowers. So why would they suddenly keel over? Hello everyone. Welcome back to another allotment vlog. My name's Emma. I'm at my allotment. If you would like to watch a cheerful, happy video, I will link one here. However, there are some. However, this one ain't no cheer, ain't no happy, hence the quite serious start. So, if you're new and you love a little bit of allotment drama, do subscribe. Plenty of it on my channel, apparently. So, if you don't know, I've been on holiday the past... It's Monday. What day is it? No, it's Tuesday. And I went away on Thursday. So the last time I was at the allotment was Wednesday evening. We watered everything. And if you've watched the last video, if you haven't watched the last video, go and watch the last video because it requires some context. Basically, there's been loads of weirdness on my plot. Maybe you should watch the last few videos just to catch up, be up to speed. Yeah, basically there was some weirdness on my plot, both on my... Well, it started on the tomatoes. That's the first thing I noticed on the tomatoes in the Polytunnel. They've gone a weird colour. They've gone yellow at the top, like yellow, almost white, basically, at the top. And I thought that was weird. First of all, I thought it was sun scorch, so I just sort of didn't think anything of it. But then more things went weird, and some dahlias went a bit weird, and then a full flower bed of zinnias, straw flowers, basically all died. And then I noticed some weirdness on my original plot, on my pumpkins, on some of the other plants. And yeah, the weirdness has continued, and not only has it continued, significantly worse in some places. So Sam, my partner, fiance Sam, has been watering the allotment every day, bless him, since I've been on holiday, and he is very diligent, and he knew that if he forgot or he came back to an unwatered plot, like, I would be fuming. So he told me every day, he sent pictures every day of him coming to the allotment. So the allotment has been thoroughly watered every day since I've been away. And it also has rained actually a little bit while I've been away. Not a lot, but a little bit. So the ground has been watered. It has been hot. There has been a mini heat wave. I will give it that. Yeah, it has been hot, but Sam has been coming to water every day in the evening or the morning. He works full time, so that's the best he could muster, but he's been every day. So this isn't neglect. I can tell you that. Sam's many things, but if he does a job, he does it properly. So whatever's happened is not neglect. And I am hesitant to say what I think is happening because I have had some issues with the allotment committee. Some of the allotment committee, not all of the allotment committee, but some of the allotment committee I've had an issue with, and I know that they have access to this YouTube channel. And so I don't want to cause any more issues, basically. I've got enough going on in my life and I really don't need committee allotment drama. So I am not going to say anything that could get me in trouble, basically. So I can't be fully honest about what I think's going on. And it's just got worse. And honestly, I just feel like crying. I just feel like doing a big cry and throwing it all in. I am quite a upbeat person. I think people that know me in person, and maybe if you've seen it on the vlogs, I tend to be quite happy chappy, glass half full, you know. Not that, you know, everything's great in my life, but I do try and always look on the bright side. However, I am really, really struggling to maintain any sort of optimism here, to be honest, and that's getting me down in itself because I just want to live a happy little quiet little life with my garden and my allotment, and I don't feel like I can do that right now. So I will show you what's going on. I'll take you around and I'll show you, but I thought I'd just give a little preamble before. And as I say, I'm not an expert and I'm not a scientist and I'm not a horticulturist and I've got no qualifications. So it is literally just what I've read on the internet, what I've read in books. I've done all the AI image searches. I mean, I don't fully trust them because sometimes they tell me something's a weed and I know it's not. But I've basically tried my best. I've looked at research papers, like I've gone deep. I've like looked at university studies, like I've deep dived. I can research. If there's anything I can do, I can deep dive and hyper focus and do a research. So I've done loads of research. We have got a soil testing kit coming tomorrow. As I said, I've been away, so I've not been able to like be here to like fix it. Basically. So yesterday, Sam sort of told me what was happening, but I really needed to see it for myself. So I've seen it for myself now. So I've ordered a soil testing kit that's going to test like any deficiencies in the soil. And also we've been it's difficult because if you don't know what it is, if it's over fertilising, you don't want to then fertilise again. But if it's under fertilised, then you really need to fertilise. And if it's too much water, then you don't want to water them too much. But if it's lack of water, then you do want to water them too much. If it's in your soil, you're buggered. So yeah, we've just been basically carrying on as normal. The only thing we've been doing differently is I have been watering the tomatoes maybe once every 2 weeks, once a week, if sort of, once every 2 weeks, sort of, not every week, but not every 2 weeks. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Infrequently, semi-frequently, with an iron-based, I've got it with me actually, iron-based feed, and that's just the tomatoes, because my thought was I might have to pull those tomatoes out anyway, so if that makes them worse, then so be it, they're going to have to get pulled out anyway. So that's the only thing I've been doing differently. Other than that, as I say, Sam's just been watering as normal in the evening. He knows how to water. He's a gardener for his job, so he knows what he's doing. He's not been watering the leaves, he's been watering the ground, plenty of water, he knows what he's doing. So anyway, without any further ramble, let's show you, shall we? Let's show you what's bringing me down. Hey, let's go on a little plot tour, shall we? Little plot tour. Can't wait. Okay, we may as well start here at the bathtub of death. These are parsnips. Parsnips and a rogue fennel. Yeah. I mean, you can see the issue with that. They're crispy, and even though the top layer of soil compost looks dry, underneath that is damp. So Sam's been watering that. I mean, he's told me he's been watering it. And this is all compost. There is no soil from the ground in here at all. This is all compost, freshly topped up this year with an extra bag. But yeah, the parsnips are no longer, basically. They're gone. Parsnips are gone. The dahlias are sort of hanging on by a thread. I think, to be honest, the dahlias it's just a water issue. Since I took those two possibly infected ones out, I can't see the same sort of yellowing. And this one just needs a water, obviously, or maybe it's been overwatered. I don't know, dahlias are fussy. But the dahlias, doesn't seem to be the same issue as there was on the other ones, which the yellow spots on the leaves. So dahlias, I think, are just, being fussy. Fussy little divas are dahlias. However, cosmos. So obviously, Sam's been watering them because these ones, lovely, bushy, flowering, beautiful. I mean, look at this guy. Beautiful, stunning. Look at these guys. Beautiful, stunning. So he's obviously been watering them. However, this row, and some of the others, are dead. Fully dead. I mean, can we bring those back to life? I don't know. But yeah, you can see, just crispy. Absolutely crispy. And dahlias actually don't mind, poor soil. So I'm very confused as to why they've suddenly keeled over and died. And it's starting to hit some others as well. And as you can see, this bed's been mulched with rabbit manure, which some of you did suggest could have been infected. But this bed, which Sam says he's been really trying to bring back, and to be honest, some of the zinnias do look like they've been brought back from the brink. I mean, that is still suspicious to me, but some of them do think they might have come back. But the asters and the straw flowers are still depressingly sad. And anyway, what I was saying was that this bed has been dug over and compost dug into, and this hasn't got any manure or rabbit bedding on it, and yet this was like one of the worst affected beds. As you can see, like there's loads of weeds in it, but yeah, you can see the asters have just not, I mean, I feel like they're trying desperately to hang on, but I don't know. I have no idea. Well, you know, I've got inklings, but I'm not a scientist. These dahlias seem fine in this bed, and this bed has had manure on it, so, you know, I don't know. The tomatoes, so one of the lovely committee members, there are some, kindly offered me some spare tomato plants. So these two are newly planted tomatoes, but these are the ones that obviously you can see they're still badly affected. And the funny thing is, you can say, you know, it's tomato blight, whatever, but then look at my marigold. You know, and I had to pull 2 more marigolds out because they were just completely dead, brown, whatever. So this is what I'm saying, it's so confusing how it's affecting whatever is happening, or it could be, obviously it could be different issues, I'm not discounting that, but whatever is happening is affecting different types of plants in a similar way, and that is unusual. Normally, you know, similar types of plants get disease and whatnot, but these are all being affected in a similar way. I think, to be honest, my cucumbers and melons look really happy, but then my aubergines, again, just miserable, yellow, like, just, yeah, miserable. Thankfully, you know, we have, oh my God, we've got a cucumber. Well, that's fantastic news. That's cheered me up. Sam didn't mention that. Maybe he wanted me to see it for himself, but I mean, even on these ones, like, it's not looking healthy, is it? You know? But the melons that are surviving seem okay. I think the melons that died, that was just a me issue. I think maybe I transplanted them wrong, or they got too wet or whatever, that's fine. I didn't really suspect the melons. However, tomatoes. The tomatoes. And, you know, you could say it's heat, you could say it's watering, but all of these tomatoes have received the same level of care, and these ones are doing great on this side. So it doesn't make sense, does it? It just does not make any sense. I mean, this one is starting to show a little bit of leaf curl, which could just be watering, I suppose, but... And then this is, I know what this is magnesium deficiency on the lower leaves, I do know what that is. But yeah, like, we've got some tomatoes, like this plant is so healthy, it's unbelievable. And they're in the same conditions, the exact same conditions, so... And these, obviously you can see, these marigolds are stunning, beautiful, having a great time. So that's my confusion, is why, why is it not affecting everything the same? Why is it not affecting everything the same? I mean, these have gone curly. Oh, honestly, I don't know. Anyway, this isn't even the worst. Thankfully, as I said, I've got some more tomatoes from my allotment, someone else on the allotments, bless him, and I've also ordered some plug plants online, just to pop those in. Obviously, if it's something in the soil, they'll come up the same. So we're sort of using these as testers to see if it is something in the soil, then these surely should be affected the same as the one next to it and the ones that came out. I'm rambling as well. I don't know if you can tell, because that's what I do when I'm upset. I do a little bit of a ramble. Yeah. Also, you might be able to tell, but the weeds coming up on this side are much more prevalent than the weeds on this side. just a thought, just an observation. But yeah, that's why I don't think it's a tomato-based fungus, because my marigolds are dying as well. Anyway, that isn't even the worst of it. Let's show you the worst of it. This is a tub of mint, which again has been watered. But before I left, this was showing signs of yellowing. And you can see even this weed. Look at this weed, right? That's a prime example. Look at this weed. Yeah, and the soil is moist. So, mint that grows as a weed is dead. But this was, I wish I'd taken a picture actually, because this was so yellow before I left. And that was before, you know, Sam took over watering, so. Okay, then there's my pumpkins. Now, admittedly, the pumpkins could just be a water issue, because I know they are fussy. That one looks like it's been eaten by a mouse or something, actually. So, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't know what's going on there. And also, I know the top layer of soil looks very dry, but underneath is still damp. That's important to note. But yeah, these, dead. That might have been something else. I know pumpkins are quite fussy, so I'm not going to look too much into the pumpkin issue. However, the sunflowers. What sunflowers, she says. Yep. So there were, what, maybe 25 sunflowers in here? Maybe. And I was growing these for the wedding. So, and they were looking a bit sad on Wednesday, and all of their tops were yellow, so me and Sam were a bit suspect, because it looked a bit like how the tomatoes and the zinnias looked. A bit like, yeah, you can sort of see yellow here. These are self-seeded sunflowers that seeded themselves and were absolutely super healthy. And I will say again, under the soil is damp. So the top layer is dry, but underneath is damp. So it's not water. It's roots, it's not got any bugs. I know they've not got big roots, but they are dead now. So I can't imagine the roots will be healthy. And yeah, just completely gone. Completely gone. A whole bed of sunflowers, and even the self-seeded sunflowers are doing the same sort of weird yellowy thing. And you can't say, you know, these maybe their roots didn't go down far enough, maybe they weren't getting enough water, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. But these ones, you can't say the same about that. Their roots will be so deep because they're massive. And they were super healthy when I forgot to water them a couple of times, you know. So what? Does anyone know? And this bed I grew sunflowers in last year. That is a key thing, is that this is a comparable bed because I grew sunflowers in here last year and they were fine. And I have used, don't think I've used rabbit bedding, I think I've just used compost on top as a mulch. As I say, this bed grew sunflowers last year, absolutely fine. However, this year, it's a complete wasteland. So it's every single one. It's crispy and dead. And as I say, it's not like they were green and droopy, like they were just needed a bit of water. They were yellow, like bright, like this, like white yellow when I saw them last. The other things, like the pumpkins are sort of okay, but even so, this one is not looking too tippity top. The brassicas are sort of fine, you know, brassicas sort of just do their own thing. But my sweet peas on this plot, I don't know if you can see, but I mean they have got green fly, but they're all curling. They're all curling. This is not normal sweet pea behaviour. I mean, it could be the green fly. Oh, hello, little ladybird larvae. You help out there. But yeah, they're all curling. They're not growing. I've not got a sweet pea off these yet, which is unusual. And again, because I planted sweet peas in this bed last year and it's had compost on. Yeah, and you can see, like, normally if I wasn't being inquisitive, I'd assume this was just from lack of water or nutrients or whatever. Like, I just assume that, but everything else going wrong, I'm sort of thinking a little bit more. And yeah, they're just not happy little plants. thankfully, I think my tromboncino is growing quite happily. Let's prop you up, Mr. Guy. Thank God, because I wanted at least one pumpkin this year. So one tromboncino is doing fine. And all of my brassicas are doing okay as well. That is important to note. They've got like their own bugs, like cabbage butterfly and whatever, but they're fine. Everything else is sort of fine. The beans, to be fair, these beans are fine. This bed got topped up with compost before the season started. And again, these pumpkins are looking funky. But then, you know, the rest of the courgettes are looking okay. If not a bit, you know, sad from the hot weather, but they're generally looking fine. Everything else is sort of okay. And you know what? In all of this, my wildflower bed looks beautiful, doesn't it? My wildflower patch looks absolutely stunning. So I'm really pleased with that. Look at these little cornflowers, my little candy tufts. Yeah, they all look beautiful, stunning, little poppies. So that's, you know, keeping me from stepping off the edge. But everything else. And greenhouse wise, obviously I'm not worried about stuff in the greenhouse because the greenhouse is paved. So no weirdness there. And I have got a dahlia and stuff that I can plant out, and you know, got my peppers and like all my lettuces are coming. The bean test, they haven't come up yet. I don't remember if Sam watered these or not, but the beans haven't come up, so I can't give you any conclusions on the bean test because they've not grown. But yeah, so having seen all this, let's go back to the shed and have a chat. So I've shown you what I can see with my eyes, and I've explained the different things we've used on the beds and how we've watered them and stuff, and yeah, it's very confusing. I wouldn't have expected an entire bed of sunflowers to have died in sunny weather. They could have, obviously they could have. Maybe Sam lied to me, maybe he didn't water them. Doubtful, but could have. But even so, the big self-seeded sunflowers, why would they suddenly keel over? They were so healthy. They had survived for weeks in the sun. So why would they suddenly keel over? I honestly don't know. And I don't know if I can find out. I've tried to do the bean test, but they've not come up. I'll try and do it again if, you know, but if they don't grow, they don't grow. You can buy like a soil, like an extreme herbicide test kit, but that's like 100 to 200 quid, which we don't have. We're getting married this year. So we don't have 100, 200 quid lying around. And also I've just been on holiday and spent all my money having fun, so we don't have 200 quid to spend on a farmer's level herbicide test kit. We could buy a glyphosate test kit that would test the soil and the water, but again, that's money, 60 odd quid that I really don't want to spend. I could spend so much more on more dahlias, for example. I could buy loads of dahlias for 60 quid. And I'm hesitant to spend the money on something like that when I shouldn't have to, really. And as I said, the sunflowers, I don't know if I've just got my tinfoil hat on and I'm looking far too into it, and of course the sunflowers could have just got too hot and have not got enough water and have just died. Fine. You know, that is a possibility that could have happened. I'm not ruling that out. However, that confuses me that the big sunflowers, where their roots go really deep into the ground, I'm really surprised that they would have also died. And also, I know Sam's been watering because all the other plants are alive. If Sam hadn't been watering well, all the other plants would have died. Sunflowers like the sun. It's in the name. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm minorly stressed about this, and I'm very upset about the sunflowers because I know I go on about dahlias, but if someone's buying me a bunch of flowers from the shop, sunflowers are my favourite flowers, and I really wanted them at the wedding. And I fear it's too late to sow. I'm getting upset. It's too late to sow new ones. I have brought the seeds with me to sow them because you never know, the gardening gods might smile on me and grow me sunflowers, and I don't need them till the end of September, so I have got time in theory, but yeah, I might have a look online to see if there's any sunflower plug plants. Or if you live in the Derbyshire, South Yorkshire area near Sheffield and you've got any sunflowers spare, let me know. Or any tomatoes, or any dahlias, or any pumpkins. Yeah, anyway, as I say, I can't really say anything on the matter. I'm just really miserable. Basically, I'm just really miserable. And I don't want to make you guys miserable, but also you've seen, well, most of you have seen us put so much time and effort and energy into this allotment plot, and it brings me so much joy. This allotment has brought me, until this year, until a couple of months ago, this allotment has only brought me joy. And even the stuff that failed, like I didn't get a pumpkin last year, I got on with it and I laughed about it and I thought we'll try again. And you know, some people say, well, it's only some sunflowers and that, but I really, really wanted to grow my own wedding flowers. It was something I was really passionate about doing, and I wanted to show that you could do it. If you were into gardening, you could save a few grand on wedding flowers because that's how much they cost. And you could do it yourself, and I really wanted to prove to myself that I could, but I'm just not getting the vibes that it's going to work. I have re-sowed at home some zinnias, dahlias from seed, asters, basically all the stuff that I could find that might still grow in time for the wedding. I've re-sowed, and I re-sowed them before I went on holiday, and they have started to germinate, so I will persevere and carry on with those and the flower dream. And I've brought some dahlias with me today. They ain't going in my plot, but I'm going to put some in my dad's plot, and I'm going to put some on my original plot in beds that seem fine. Obviously the sunflower bed is absolutely, but in the other beds that seem fine, I'm going to put the dahlias in. I'm not going to plant anything else in my new plot. I can't take the risk. I just can't. If it was something I didn't care about, or if it was just cabbages or just something for fun, I would, but I really can't take the risk. I've invested so much money in those dahlias, and I can't chance it. So I'm going to put the dahlias elsewhere because they're getting too warm in the greenhouse and they need to go outside. And we're going to re-sow our sunflowers, and I will show you that, so there will be some gardening in this vlog. I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but this is the reality of allotment gardening. I would love, the dream is to have a little cottage or a little farmhouse with land so that I can do all this at home. And that is what, you know, me and Sam, after the wedding, and God knows what else happens, but after the wedding we'll probably start saving up trying to move, because our house we've got a new build house. The garden is a square. We do our best with it, like I love our garden, but it's not enough to grow a significant amount of fruit, vegetables and flowers. So yeah, long term that's the plan, but short term I've only got my allotment, and at the end of the day, it's in a public space and anything can happen to it. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? So I'll go and put my dahlias in, and I'll re-sow my sunflowers, and I'll give everything a water, and then I'll go home. But yeah, you can come with me to do those nice little bits, but bear with me if I'm not very chatty, because I'm very upset. So I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry on the internet. No, I'll just cry later. I'll just cry later when I go home to Sam. Okay, let's plant some dahlias and sow some sunflowers and try and pick back up. There's a butterfly in my greenhouse. Vacate. There you go, be free. Editing Emma. Allotment Emma forgot to turn the microphone back on, didn't she? So no sound was coming through in that outro. But Editing Emma's here to end the video for you. I think I said that I'd bought some tomato plug plants. I'm very much a problem solver. That's what I do every day for my job. And so I'm a problem solver, so I'm thinking, how can I overcome this? And so I had already ordered some replacement tomato plants, and we've got those extras from my friend on the allotment committee. So we're going to replace the tomatoes with them. And then just today I ordered some replacement sunflowers, which were expensive because plug plants are, but it was because I was growing specific varieties of sunflowers. So I couldn't just buy the nice yellow giant ones. I had specific varieties that I wanted, so I've bought those. They'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. So we've got a plan in place. Me and Sam are going to sit down tonight. I don't think I'm going to go to the allotment today, to be honest. I normally go every day in the summer, but I just need a minute. And it rained overnight last night, so it should be okay, but I just need a minute away. I can't see it again. Maybe I need a day where Sam can come with me and be moral support, but I can't go again today. I just can't face up to it. So me and Sam are going to chill together, come up with a game plan for what we do going forward. And yeah, sorry this has been such a depressing video. We will get back to it, I assure you. We will get back to it. There will be fun, happy times. I'll link the playlist of the full series, and this is literally the most sad out of all of those videos. So you can go and watch the rest. Real fun gardening content, I promise. And subscribe to see how we get on with this disaster that we're facing. Thank you for all your lovely, lovely, lovely comments on the last video. Honestly, reading them has given me faith in humanity. It really, really perked me up reading your comments, and thank you for all your suggestions on what we can do. If anyone's an RHS member, please let me know if you would be willing to send in some pictures on our behalf, because I'm not an RHS member, so I can't ask for garden advice. But if you are willing to do that, please let me know. And as I say, we've got the soil test kit, etc. So we're mitigating and we'll pick up, I do assure you. Just a reminder, our Etsy our Etsy shop is down below, which will help pay for the wildlife camera and all the stuff we've had to do. Not that it's necessary, it's just if you would like, the Etsy shop is down below. You get something that I have made. It's not just, you know, it's quite nice. And subscribe and leave me a comment of, if you've got no scientific advice, just leave me a comment of something nice that's happened to you recently to cheer me up. And then I'll read them and then I'll be cheerful. So yeah, leave me something nice that's happened to you or someone you know. Leave me nice stories so I can have some good news. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. Normal, scheduled, fun, silly allotmenting will continue at some point in the future. Or the weekend vlogs. Anyway, bye. Love you all.